Good evening, brothers and sisters. How are you doing? I'm hoping that you're doing great. It's Friday, it's the end of the week, and we couldn't hope for more, right? Tried thinking of a question for today's chapter, and no matter how much brain power I used, question just couldn't come up. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So today we're going to be working in Alma 52, and this one, it's continuation of the war. And I looked online and I think it was Scripture Central or yes, Scripture Central actually calls this the Second Amalekite War. Even though Amalekite is dead, he died in the last chapter. His brother is, excuse me, takes over today. Now, remember in the last chapter, Teancum snuck into the camp of Amalickiah, king of the Lamanites, and killed him. And then he went back to his people and prepared because he had a feeling that when they woke up, something would happen. Well, when they woke up, the Lamanites were affrighted, or they were scared. And they had decided to abandon their march northward. So they decided to retreat with all their people into the city of Mulek. Now, it came to pass that the people of the Lamanites, and I guess this army, appointed his Amalickiah's brother Ammoron to be the new king, which I found interesting. But Ammoron took over to reign in his stead. And he decided he wanted to maintain the cities that they had already taken. And I guess he didn't want to go after the other cities. These war chapters really, I understand the purpose of them, but I don't know, just me. So Teancum didn't want to attack the cities that the Lamanites had taken. They just wanted to maintain them. So Teancum just fortified all the cities, helping prepare them to defend themselves. He cast up walls. And he did this until Moroni had sent a large enough army for them to strengthen their armies. There was much death in these wars. And Moroni sent to Teancum an order that he should retain all the prisoners who fell in their hands, and they were going to use them for ransom to try and get the Nephites who were taken prisoner by the Lamanites. And Captain Moroni sent orders that they should fortify the land bountiful and secure the narrow pass of the land which led into the land northward, lest the Lamanites surround them. And now King Ammoron, realizing that they weren't safe, probably, in the land of the Nephites, departed from the land of Zarahemla. And he made it known that the queen that his brother had died, and that they had gathered a large number of men in the west, in the borders by the West Sea. And this all happened within the 26th year of the reign of Judges. In the 27th, Teancum was commanded by Moroni to retake the cities which they had lost. And to attack the city of Mulek. Remember, that's where Ammoron and his people had retreated to earlier. And to me, no matter how much I read these war chapters, I can't really make heads or tails of them. They seem, but I'll do my best. Let's see. Now, Teancum, in verse 17 here, it says that he was making preparations to attack the city of Mulek, and he saw that it would be impossible for them to attack it because of the fortifications that was made. And so they decided to wait until Moroni came to the army to strengthen the army. And then in the 28th year, Moroni and Teancum and many of the chief captains held a war council, or council of war, and trying to find out how they can regain their strongholds and retake the city of Mulek. Now, there was one of the leaders of the Lamanites which was held up in Mulek. His name was Jacob, and he was a Zoramite. Now, remember, the Zoramites are dissenters from the Nephites. And Moroni wanted Jacob to come out and meet, I guess, from what I'm reading here, meet him on the plains. Yeah, Jacob wasn't going to fall for that. So Moroni wanted to find a way to create a decoy for Jacob to lure him out. So what he did is he had Teancum take a small number of men and march down to the seashores. And Moroni and his armies by night marched in the wilderness on the west side of the city of Mulek. And on the morrow, when the guards of the Lamanites had discovered Teancum, they went and told Jacob. Let's see here. Now, this is actually going to work, or working. The Lamanites saw that there was a small army, so they thought they could overtake them, and so they went after them. Now, when the Lamanites left the city, Captain Moroni decided he was going to send in an army and retake possession of the city, and that happened. They took back control of the city of Mulek and chased out the remaining Lamanites. Now, as they were chasing the armies of Teancum, the armies of Lehi came up from behind and started chasing the Lamanites. Well, the Lamanites had been exhausted because they were busy all the time, and they were tired from marching all the time. So Lehi's army, who was more rested, more ready, caused that they should chase after him. And it says here that Lehi was not desirous to overtake them until they should meet up with Moroni and his army. So they kind of played a little, they were teasing them. They stayed close enough to give them concern, keep them on their toes, but they wouldn't attack them until Moroni's army came. And when they did, it says here that they should fall upon them until the give up their weapons of war. Now, Jacob, the Zoramite, it says here that he had an unconquerable spirit. So he led the Lamanites with great fury, and Jacob and Moroni had battled, and Jacob was killed, but Captain Moroni was injured. And Captain Moroni, seeing that the Lamanites are in confusion because of the death of their leaders, convinced them to give up their war and turn themselves over, give up their weapons of war. And it says here that the number of those who were taken prisoner exceeded more than the number of those who had been slain on either side, which it's always good. So this is the 52nd chapter of Alma. We still have 10 more chapters or 9 more chapters of the war chapters. I'll continue doing my best to understand what's going on here. It's really sad about all these wars, and it makes it hard to I'm going to go ahead and end this chapter, guys. We will see you again tomorrow for another chapter. Remember, guys, I do love you and I pray for you. And tomorrow we actually get introduced to Helaman and his stripling warriors. I always did love those stories. All right, you guys take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.